it. Don't make it a part of your consciousness so that you are inflexible to what will be given to you as information. Because a lot of people latch on to something that they find very interesting in the storyline, and little clues are given to them to show them that they're right. But but that fixation that you have is keeping you from understanding. You have to take a 360-degree scan of your reality, not that 133 degrees that is just what it is until it's proven. Once the information is proven, it becomes knowledge. Once the knowledge is perfected, it becomes wisdom. Once wisdom is shared, it becomes enlightenment.
Indeed. Somebody asked a question about, where did it go? Uh, hmm. Well, I don't see that, but somebody said, "Can you speak on Loki and the imagination?" Loki.
You mean on the low low? Well, Loki is mischief, which means that that's the part of the mind and the part of the brain that is always seeking to upend um, order. Loki represents that part of reality that cannot stay fixated in its own sense of self. It has a beginning, a maturity, and an ending. And Loki is that part of that dynamic, that part of that movement in the creation of things that has the of chaos that is entered into everything created. Remember, you're on the physical plane, and on the physical plane, everything has a duration because it is trapped in time. It's trapped in the thought process. So what happens? Loki becomes the mischief that begins to have you questioning your reality. It has you wondering whether or not what it is that I'm doing is relevant anymore. So he has you tricked. He tricks you into believing or to believing that that you got the right answer, but everything around you is telling you you don't. So what you have to do now is to change your perspective. Loki forces you to examine yourself, to see twice. That's why you see him have all these images of himself. He has about 10 and 12 images that he can give you because he's got 10 and 12 different ways to distract you.
Mm,
So you have to understand that that's how that part of you, that's how chaos works. Chaos needs to do that in order to upend order, because order, once fixated, can actually cause death. It'll cause an entropy that causes you to stagnate and then stagnate unto death. Life is movement. Life is continually renewing itself. And so Loki is that part that always says, okay, time's up. You've been lingering on this particular reality and fixated too long.
indeed. Somebody asked, "How does Norse mythology fit to us?"
It's them telling us our story back with us with white faces. So
That
study your own mythology, and you'll have a greater perspective than the Norse mythology. They have imbibed the meaning of their mythology through what they have stolen from our mythologies. So study your own mythology. You have a greater perspective of yourself. What do you see every time you look at these Norse mythologies? You see everything around right now in TV is all about white people and this Norse and painting of themselves, the Vikings and all of that. They got to keep pushing themselves, their Neanderthal selves on us because there's nothing else. Remember, the further back they go, they can't go further back than what's that one with the woman who flies around with dragons?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. They can't go further back than Game of Thrones. They can't go further back than Lord of the Rings. And what do they look like? All Vikings. But when you go back, the further back you go into a lush land, because they're all Icelandic creatures, when you go back to lush lands and so called civilizations where there was warmth, incubators rather than refrigerators, when you go there, that's where they pull. There was this older woman who keeps talking about white people and showing them how racist they are. I forgot her name, but she said, we never, as white people, never ever created a religion. We did not create any of the sophisticated things of civilization. Yet still we brag that we are somehow bringing civilization to those who we stole the civilization from, destroyed their societies, turned them into primitives, or caused them to have to live a certain way, and then came back after we have stolen everything they did, built our civilizations on their particular intellectual capital, and then now castigate them.
You talking about Jane Elliott, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
the name.
yeah.
Thank you. So Norse mythology is actually Kemetic mythology. It's actually Dravidic mythology. It's Vedic mythology.
Okay. Um, where is it at? Where is it at? Just seen it. Just seen it, Doug. Give me a second. Family, once again, before I continue, make sure you hit the like button. I got all the doc's information in the description bar. If you are interested in the webinar happening this Sunday, so you could go to the description bar. He also has his 1-800 number there as well. We're gonna take two more questions before we get out of here. Doc, can you speak about the Orishas?
You can speak about the Orishas by studying the entities. I don't. I didn't go deeper into the Orishas, uh, but I know of them, and a priest of Ifa wanted me to be initiated into Ifa. But when I went to speak to this priest who came out of Cuba, he told me that I was ready Ifa because my whole energy was based in Jehudi, and in the combination of the two disciplines, Ifa is Jehudi. So if you want to know more about the Orishas, you should study the Kemetic pantheon because you can actually get the same thing like uh, Yamaya, and you're talking about um, where you think they took Thor from? They took Thor from Obatala and Ogun. They combine that, and the other Orishas that they take from Heteru is what's the name of that the god, the Orisha of beauty and love? Um, what's her name?
I forget. I know you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Well, I mean, what's his name? The Shechem did a beautiful job of combining the Orishas and the gods of the Orishas.
Oshun. Somebody said
Oshun,
Oshun.
Oshun,
Yeah.
Oshun,
Oshun.
and the yes, thank you, Fernando. There is a he did a very good job. The Shechem did a very good job of melding the Yoruba and Ifa to ancient Kemet. So if you wanted to know more about how those two worked, I would suggest that you get the book by Shechem.
Okay. Last question, Doc. Are we from Africa?
Not all of us. Remember, I said something at when I did the hidden colors. I did hidden colors, and this became a meme that I saw. Uh, the deeper the European digs for evidence of his history and his past, the blacker the planet gets. Which means, and I meant by that is that we are all over this plane of existence. We have been here in these Americas thousands upon thousands of years before him. In fact, the Smithsonian has designated that the so called Olmecs are the original high civilization of this particular hemisphere. So, what does that say? Who are the so called Olmecs? We know them as the Tamon Khan. Some of them call them the Z people, or the peoples of from the empire of the Mali. Okay, no, we didn't all come from Africa. In fact, most of the people who were brought from Africa actually were dropped off in the United in the so-called West Indies. The people who were enslaved here were the indigenous peoples. The people you see that they're calling the indigenous cut a deal with the white man, the one that looks like they're Asian. That's not the original. That's not the indigenous people of this particular hemisphere.
Mm.
That's the Mongol who came across the bridge, the Bering Strait Bridge, down through Canada, or what is now Canada, because Canada and the so-called United States is all North America. That line that you see between Canada and the United States, that didn't exist until the white man. We roamed this entire continent, this entire part here. So this person that they call the indigenous people that you saw with dances with wolves and all that. In fact, if you saw my last webinar, which was probably in the last webinar, I showed you that the current head of the Chinese military talked about the fact that they are the superior race, that the Germans call themselves the superior race, and he said, no, we are the superior race because we're older. We're 5,000 years old. He says, we've been all over this planet, this world. And he says, we've migrated to all four corners of the world, even into the Americas, where we became the American Indian. Now, if that don't give you a clue to the fact that he is not, they are not, these people that they're pushing up as the so-called Native American, they're not the Native American. There were huge citadels, cities here. There's even a Supreme Court from 1712, long before the so-called 13 colonies were built up, which were the first black colonies that were trying to break away from the black nobility in England. There's so much going on in the twistery in what I call the American education system. You're not being taught our story. Our story is my story. You put my and story together, you get mystery. So our story is the mystery that they hide. That's what they're burning in the Vatican. So understand that there's enough information that's coming out, enough in the archives that I'm being given every day, being leaked out to me to be able to speak certain things. That's why I'm also, before I do cut off my beloved brother, I'm telling the people that if they want to move their capital, their monies, you don't have to take it all out. You want to move their monies from the bank and put it into something that will appreciate every week, bonus every week, that they need to look into the Novatech. You have that number there that I left for you, brother.
Yeah.
You need to talk to this brother, Brother Reggie. His number is 415-756-5676. Once again, 415-756-5676. Talk to him about the Novatech and do your own vetting. I did. And actually, Novatech was created by a black woman, young black woman named Cynthia Petion. In fact, from what I heard and what was vetted, that Cynthia was in Wall Street and was one of the high rollers working in finance, the Forex, and in cryptocurrencies. And she was so potent in what she did, making money for white men, that the former CEO of Twitter is supposed to have given her $10 million so that she would never fail. Okay? Do your vetting, but call this brother if you want to make sure that the depreciating dollar, the hemorrhaging dollar, does not take you all down the toilet with it. Again, it's Nova Tech. And you could talk.
Owning pages on Instagram. I will never, ever, 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 ever DM you asking you for money, asking you for to invest in cryptocurrency, or telling you, do you want to read in? Those are scammers. There somebody clone my page. It says Black Magic 363, and after my name it's an underscore. That's not me. I don't know why people are following it. It's tricky. Sometimes people aren't paying attention, but there's a slight underscore after my name. That's not me. I might just get rid of my Instagram altogether. I don't really feel Instagram anyway. That's not my energy or whatever. So I might end up just getting rid of my Instagram altogether. I'm not sure, but I'm letting you know, family. The scammers are running heavy right now. YouTube also, but Instagram is a complete mess. So that's not me. Brother Rich ain't. I'm gonna ask you donations live on the show. a Cash Apple, but I'm not DMing people. I'm not going to your email. None of that. That's not me, family. That's most of these scammers are from Nigeria. People have seen them before. Do not fall for it. If you're on Instagram, Instagram is filthy right now. It's filthy. It's disgusting right now. So be very careful if you are on Instagram because the person you're talking to may not be that person. All right. With that being said, I see we at the 1,000 mark. We at the 1,000 mark right now. So let me let y'all know this. I told Doc years ago. I said, Doc, we had a talk. I told Doc to set up a Cash App, and I'm letting him know about what's the current energy, the current wave. I'm obviously I'm younger than Doc, and I'm like, people are using Cash App. You need to set up a Cash App. So Doc set up a Cash App, and it served Doc well the last couple of years. Dr. Valentine has been under attack from numerous entities. YouTube, you'll see my page get suspended, Facebook, and now Cash App. Cash App is just a place where you send money. You don't even speak on Cash App. They shut Doc's Cash App down. So I told Doc, I promised Doc, I said, I'm gonna take care of you, Doc. I mean, the only reason why I'm here is because of brothers like Dr. Phil Valentine. Um, Hold on, let me do something real quick. Yeah, the brother made it possible for a brother like me to come in the game and do what I gotta do, learn the information, learn the metaphysics. So I gotta take we gotta take care of our elders. It's very necessary. And there's a huge disconnect. Just like I had the brother Kwame on yesterday, there's a huge disconnect between the elders and the youth. We're looking at the younger people with the tattoos and the this and the that and whatever, and it's like it's stimulating to us when we see all this stuff. But our elders are what gave us this information. Our elders taught us all this. Our elders made it possible for me to be here. Looking how I look right now, doing this for a living. Our elders did that. Let us not forget our elders. So I want everybody who watches this, everybody, they took Doc's Cash App. Let me say this. You don't even teach or why would they? Let me say this. If y'all watching now, I need you to support the brother. And Doc is humble. There's other things that I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't dare disrespect Doc, but he's humble. But I'm here to be the voice. I'm the loud, obnoxious dude. That's what I'm here for. But Doc is humble. But right now, if you're watching this, I don't need you to send me anything. I need you to send Doc. I just put his PayPal. Where's it at? I need you to support Dr. Valentine right now, the whole family. There's 1,162 people in here live. If you're not live and you're watching this later, that means you're still watching it. I need everybody to hit up Doc's PayPal, whether it's $1, whatever. If it's 100, if it's 1,000, 5,000, whatever. But if you're watching this, show some respect to the elders. And I'm not saying you're being disrespectful if you don't donate, but it's just I know what's going on right now, and I know Doc, you know, I know it's that time. So make sure y'all show support. Hit up Dr. Valentine's PayPal, kevinearth@gmail.com. We're gonna take care of our elders. We're not gonna do what we've been doing for years. Dr. Ben passed away, and I don't even want to say how that was. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tariq Nasheed for sending some money to his family, but a lot of our elders pass away, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And we all are regretful once they pass away, but the brother's alive now. So we don't have to be regretful 15 years from now. We could be thankful right now for doing it right now. And when the brother makes the transition back to the ancestral realm, we could say, I'm thankful that during the time he was alive, I contributed. So everybody who's watching this right now, even if you're a troll, you've benefited from Dr. Valentine. He gave you something to troll about. Everybody hit up the brother's PayPal. We're going to do a Q&A tonight, but I'm constantly going to remind y'all to hit up the brother's PayPal right now. The brother's under attack from various entities. He's not down with the Democratic agenda, and they control a lot of the platforms. Dumb, 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 dumb. I'm not going to curse because I don't want them to take this down. Um, he goes against that whole Jabberwocky agenda. You know what that's about. And the brother's melanated. So the other stuff he comes with. So with that being said, family, make sure you contribute. One more time before we get to Q&A from the people. PayPal, kemetearth@gmail.com. And like I said, somebody said, does he have a Cash App? They must have just came in the room because, How can you ask that? I mean, okay. So anyway, we're gonna get to. It's gonna be a live Q&A tonight for the family. The brother's gonna interact with the people, with the audience. It's gonna be beautiful. Doc, anything you want to say before we get started, my brother?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to family,
Yes.
and and thank you for articulating our trials and what we have to go through to maintain our vigil. I just want to add to what you're saying, the kindness in your heart to have everyone reach out to us, my wife and I. Um, that if you can, when you do go to the Kemet Earth, please make sure that you click the feature that says sending to a friend or family. In that way, PayPal doesn't tax us and we get the full amount of your gift. So just click where it says sending to a friend, and then the full bounty of your gift will come to us. And I'd also like to make the announcement that they can get in contact with us at 800 847 1291. And lastly, I'm planning a very large, uh, serious, and of course, I'm counting on Brother Rich, who's always been there. I mean, you all definitely talking about protecting our assets, our cultural assets. He is definitely one of them, and I would suggest that you support him just as vociferously and just as vigorously as you would extend your gifts to me and to other brothers, other elders, and so forth. But I'm planning that. I believe it's on. Let me see. I think it's June 5th, and I will be putting on. Yeah, I think it was June 5th, Sunday, June 5th. I've planned to put on a major webinar again, where I'm going to be talking about not only what's getting ready to happen over the next year, because some new information has come in, but also what are the financial benefits that I've learned about how the country is going to sway. Of course, everybody's talking about cryptocurrency, but a lot of people are not aware of what's getting ready to go down, which cryptocurrencies and so forth. And also, there are different platforms actually set up by black superminds that are in the game. Speaking with one of them right now, their algorithm is incredible. It's impeccable, and it's rivaling the big boys over there. And I'm going to speak to you about how you may be able to participate, so that you can actually, set down seeds today for long-term benefits in the future. Because I have more years